This is going to be a bit of a long video. Hi, my name is Gabby, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you've been here for a while, this is going to be a bit of a different video to what I usually film. I usually film reading vlogs, cozy little life vlogs, but I also do touch a little bit on chronic illness and life with a chronic illness, and that is what this video will be mainly talking about. So today is Friday the 21st of February 2025, and next Wednesday the 26th of Feb I will be having my second laparoscopy surgery for my endometriosis. This has been a very long process. As you will see throughout this video, it has been a long time coming, but it's also a very unknown process as well, and it's something that I'm still not sure how it will go. So a little bit of a recap and history of my life with chronic pain and endo. My endo pain was my first thing that I kind of stood out to me. It was my period pain when I first started getting my periods at 15. Every single period I had was so bad that I was bedridden and couldn't go to school. I was fainting and throwing up, passing out in excruciating pain to the point where it felt like labor. It would come in waves and I'd have to brace myself in the fetal position, crying out. It was extreme. Like, I have never felt pain like that. So after about 2 years of dealing with this, I went onto the pill, which is what a lot of doctors prescribe for period pain as a bit of like a band-aid covering for it. And it definitely did take away that level of pain, but it didn't take away the underlying cause and what was causing this like frequent pain. So after about 5 or 6 years living with this pain, my immune system started to go really bad, and every single month for a year I was getting sick with my period. I was getting cold and flu symptoms. I was getting so run down to the point where I couldn't work anymore, and it was time for me to really think about what is causing this pain, and I booked in for my first ever laparoscopy surgery. This scared me so much. I was so in my head that I didn't actually have chronic pain and that I was fine and that I was going to go into surgery and nothing was going to be found. And I was just honestly petrified of going into the surgery. I still remember shaking so much and having a panic attack before surgery and freaking out once I woke up from it too. So I had surgery in early 2021 whilst I was studying for floristry. I had to take a bit of time off, and it ended up being probably one of the hardest times of my life. The recovery time took a good 1 to 2 months for me to be my normal self again, and it took a good like 4 months for me to actually see results from this surgery. Oh, also missing one vital important part is my results from the laparoscopy was that I was diagnosed with stage 3 endo. They found endo on my uterus, they found endo on my bowels, and they found endo on a nerve that connects my uterus to my spine, which relates to my back pain. And yeah, they just found a shit ton of endo, and they said, I remember them telling me that the amount of endo they found growing inside my body was the amount that they would normally find on someone who's had their period for 5 to 10 years longer than I have, because having your periods is what helps the endo grow. So every time you have a period, your endo grows more. So that was very relieving to hear and made me feel very validated in my pain, but was also very scary and was the start of a journey of trying to figure out how to deal with having endometriosis. So once I fully recovered from my surgery, I didn't get sick anymore. My immune system was stronger than it has ever been, and I went a good like 2 years without even getting a cold or flu. Like, that part of everything was amazing. The only thing that confused me is that I had never heard anyone being able to fix this kind of thing with endometriosis surgery. So I was a bit confused, and my surgeon was also confused why that correlated, but I think my body was just so run down that that's why I was getting sick, and my immune system was like so unwell. It also did stop my painful periods for a while. I still had slight pain, but nowhere near as much as I had before surgery. So that was incredible, and I felt like I had a bit of my life back. For a good 2 years, I was functioning mostly normal. Every now and then I would have my flare ups, but I was pretty good. I would say it was about in 2023 when it all started going downhill a bit again. I started getting painful periods again, all of my same symptoms. And then on top of that, I started getting really bad fatigue. I was constantly crashing. I was working a job as a florist, which is a very physical job, and I was struggling so much. I just kept pushing through, and I think I came to a complete crash after doing that for a year or two. And then I was convinced that I needed surgery again and that my endo had grown back, but this time the symptoms were different. I was struggling with intense fatigue I've never felt like before, migraines, just exhaustion, feeling faint and nauseous, and just overall complete exhaustion and just unable to function properly. So I started filming this vlog, this video, actually back then when I thought that I needed surgery again. And I'll insert the clip of back then after this intro just so you can see where I was at and my thoughts then. But I was convinced then that surgery is what I needed, and it may have been what I needed, but I was in such a bad mental health space, and I also was not aware of other conditions that I have later been diagnosed with, that I wasn't sure how to deal with these symptoms and if they were related to endo. I was pretty convinced that all of these symptoms were related to endo, which I later found out was not the case. Watching back this clip of me back then trying to work as a florist and trying to live out of home and not even being able to like stay awake for a whole day or leave the house is just so sad for the current me to see that, because I was in such a bad mental state, and it's just really sad to see. But today I am definitely doing much better than I was back then, and I am understanding all of my conditions better. So I'll get into that now, but I am definitely in a much better mental state than I was for my first surgery going into this next surgery. So last year I got diagnosed at the same time with POTS, and I got diagnosed with ME/CFS. Being diagnosed with POTS was something that I did not think was going to happen. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized, oh my God, my symptoms are so related to POTS. And then I brought it up with my doctor, and she said, I actually have a very severe case of POTS. My autonomic nervous system is just so dysregulated and has just been a bit traumatized by endo, and everything is not working properly as it should be. So my heart rate is always way too high. I'm always feeling very faint and nauseous, and it is just, yeah, not good. So I ended up going on medication for that, and that has helped. But every now and then my POTS flares up, and my POTS is actually flaring up at the moment just before surgery. So hopefully it's all right going into surgery. And then being diagnosed with ME/CFS was such a relief, because I just could not figure out why my level of fatigue was just like next level. Like I spent days and days and days in bed, and yeah, it was just awful, and I felt so alone before I actually realized was what I was dealing with. So yeah, after being diagnosed with POTS and ME/CFS, I quit my job. Not straight away, but pretty soon after I quit my job, and I moved back home in with my parents, which is where I am now. And I just put life on hold for a bit. I started going to see new doctors and getting lots of information and just really working on myself just a tiny bit each day, and learning a lot about the autonomic nervous system, and really just finding ways to cope with small symptoms. And I definitely think it has helped me both physically and mentally, but there's still been that underlying. God, I'm getting emotional. Sorry, I don't mean to get emotional. Whew. I'm sorry, it's a lot to talk about. It's been a rough few years. Um, so just as I was starting to kind of cope with those symptoms, my endo started kicking back and getting bad again, because it is a chronic illness. It is something that will be with me forever, and it's flaring up again, and it's been very confusing for me to try and navigate. Um, my immune system has started being really bad again, and every single month for the past 8-9 months, with my period, I have been getting a really bad cold flu, and to the point where the last 2 months, it's been so bad that I've ended up in hospital, like really, really unwell and really sick. So I've been chatting to my GP with her about this, and we've been doing running tests, and she's currently in the process of figuring out I've got really low phosphate, and I've been doing tests for that, and she thinks that might have something to do with my immune system or my kidneys or something, we don't know. But also in this process, I've also gone back to my gyno and my endo specialist, and we thought, why not give endo surgery another go? I am getting severe pain again. It might be a good idea just to have surgery and see what's going on in there, because the thing with endo is you don't really know, you can't really see what's going on with an ultrasound or anything. You can only really know once you open up and go in for surgery. So that's why I had no idea before my first one, and I just kind of pulled the trigger and went, nah, I need surgery, I need to know what's happening. And last time it helped for my immune system, and if it helps again this time, even if it doesn't make sense to him because he has no idea, I don't mind, I just want to try. So yeah, that's where we're at today. And next week on Wednesday, so only like 5 days away, is my second endometriosis surgery, and I'm scared, but I'm not as scared as I was last time. I know that I'll be okay. I know I'll be fine finding out that there's nothing. I know that I can keep taking steps to keep figuring out what's wrong with my body and what's happening with my immune system, but I really needed that diagnosis back in 2021. I think that would have destroyed me if I didn't get that diagnosis. So I'm forever grateful for the diagnosis and for such amazing surgeons and hospital team. But yeah, this time is a bit different. We're going to see if there's anything going on, but yeah, we'll just see. Just see, I guess. Today is the start of March, and tomorrow I have an appointment with my specialist, and I will be asking him and discussing with him if I can get surgery. I've gotten to the point in the last few months where I think I need it. If I don't have it soon, my quality of life is just going to keep decreasing, and the amount of things that I can do each day keeps decreasing, and it's really affecting my mental health at this point as well. I've got my little Winnie the Pooh because I am not coping, and I need something to hug. And I don't have my cat with me, so just use my stuffed toys as my little comfort. So yeah, I'm heading back to my parents today, so I get to see my cat, which I'm so excited about. And yeah, tomorrow I'm going to see my specialist, and I've written the biggest list ever of symptoms and things to discuss with him. Like, I don't even know where to begin with my conversation with him, and it's been like stressing me out so much. Like, I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning feeling so anxious and just upset and depressed about life and everything and where I'm at, and I just feel so lost and overwhelmed with everything. Like, there's so many symptoms that I'm just struggling with every day, and I'm not living a normal life at the moment. Like, it is honestly destroying me at this point. My biggest symptom that I'm struggling with at the moment is fatigue. In the past like 2 or 3 weeks, I honestly think I've been asleep more than I've been awake. I'm constantly falling asleep. If I'm out, if I leave the house, my exhaustion hits me like almost instantly. I really struggle to get through work. I've only been working like 1 or 2 times each week, and that is like really hard for me. My brain fog when I'm out and hanging out with friends, which is, I don't really hang out with friends or like socialize that often, but when I do, like, my exhaustion and my brain fog just like completely like destroys that. Like, I went out last night and I just felt so like towards the end of that, I couldn't like form proper thoughts. I was just out of it. I was just completely exhausted, and I came home and I felt like just
pure exhaustion. Like it's not tiredness, it's like body aches. It's like you've been hit by a train. And I woke up this morning and I felt like hungover and like unwell. Oh, sorry, it's making me sad. I've never dealt with this level of fatigue before, and I don't know how to help it. I get cramps, I get headaches and migraines. The biggest thing that's giving me anxiety at the moment is this constant doubt that I do need surgery. But I think it's just the constant like gaslighting and everything we hear from doctors about, oh, it's all in your head. I think I'm starting to say that to myself, even though I've literally been diagnosed with endometriosis, and I'm going to look into a diagnosis of chronic fatigue. I still am stressed that I'll go in for surgery and they'll find nothing has grown back, and then what is wrong with me then?
Hello. I'm so exhausted today, I can hardly talk. I can't breathe out of my nose. I can't hear out of my ears. I have really bad cold and flu symptoms. I've kind of decided with my mum to go back and see my endo specialist tomorrow. I managed to get an appointment in this week, which is so amazing because normally it's about a month wait. Yeah, but I'm going to see him tomorrow and I'm pushing for surgery. In the past 3 months, I've been sick almost every day. I've been, during my period, excruciating period pain, just all those endo symptoms. And then after my period, every single month, I get run down with a cold and flu. And it's not something I catch, it's just something that comes from within me because my immune system is just so run down from my period. And I just get bedridden and I can't do anything. And then that lasts for like a week or two, and then the week before my period I get extreme PMS, PMDD symptoms, and I can't like stay awake. I'm so fatigued. My ME CFS flares up so much around that time, and my POTS as well, and it's just gotten to the point where my quality of life is just really depressing. My specialist has been trying to push for me to hold off on surgery because endo's the kind of thing where you don't know if you need surgery or not until you go in for surgery. But I am just pushing for it now because I have no good days anymore. I am so unwell that I can't even sit up in bed and read. Today I'm a tiny bit better, I'm out of bed, but I feel like shit. And I'm probably gonna go back to bed soon. I can't work anymore, I can't study, I can't see my friends. If I do muster up the energy to see my friends like I did a week or two ago, I pay the consequences so badly. I just can't do anything that I want to do, and I'm so sad all the time. How I'm feeling right now is how I felt before my first surgery, which was back in 2021. So that's 3-4 years ago. I was constantly run down. I was always sick with a cold flu, consistent endo pain. I've got frequent stabbing pain in my left side and radiating pain, and it goes down into my legs and I can't stand for long. So all of those symptoms have come back, and I know deep down inside that it has grown back and that I need to look into it. But yeah, I've hardly heard anyone online talk about your immune system crashing heaps after your period and getting colds and flus. I have heard about that with ME/CFS, getting like cold flu symptoms when you're having a crash. So I think it's that and the endo like working together, because my endo did cause my ME/CFS to worsen or appear, and then I get stuck in bed, I guess, after my period because I'm so fatigued. I don't really hear about people talking about that experience with endo, so it makes me feel like at times it's all in my head and I'm just getting sick and I don't know what it is. But I know that after my first surgery, all of this did go away. For a good like 2-3 years, I wasn't getting sick, and I just can't deal with a common cold flu on top of everything else that I have to deal with. It is just too much. I am just completely drained and just defeated.
Hello, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 25th of February, and tomorrow is my laparoscopy surgery, and I am not feeling great. So I've known for the past like month that my surgery is actually going to be overlapping with when I'm due for my period, and I'm currently in the process of trying to skip my period with the pill that I'm on. In the past, I've learned that my body really does not like skipping my period and still gives me extreme pain and sometimes doesn't even work at all. So I'm currently in a lot of pain today, like my period is coming, so that adds to more stress and just more things to worry about with surgery. So that's not great. I'm not feeling amazing. I'm also feeling really nervous. It's kind of all hit me today that I'm actually having laparoscopy surgery again and going back to one of the hardest times of my life. I'm sure it won't be as bad as last time, but it's just the unknown. I don't know what's going to be happening. So yeah, I went and got my hair braided today. So I don't have to worry about my hair whilst I'm in hospital and recovering and all that. It's just all away from my face. And then yeah, tomorrow 7 a.m. is admission, and then I'm not sure when my surgery will be, but it'll be sometime in the morning. And then I'm staying overnight because last time they tried to make me go home the day of because they're like, it's just day surgery, it's not a big surgery. And I was so ill and unwell, and I was just, they tried to make me stand up, and I almost fainted. I went completely white. I was like shaking, I was in agony, and they actually let me stay because of that. But this time I've asked and I've told them I'm staying overnight. I cannot go home the day of. I will be too unwell. So I am just packing my bag at the moment for my overnight stay and all the things I need for the hospital. So I thought I'd do a little tour of what I'm bringing to the hospital, a little what's in my bag, hospital edition, which is very fun. First of all, I've got a change of comfy clothes, super comfy socks. These are Twoob socks, and they are the comfiest socks in the world. And then some big oversized comfy pajama bottoms, just some very loose, like fitting, comfy clothes. It's not nice to have anything tied around here. And then this is my overnight bag that I'll be bringing to the hospital. First of, the most important thing in here is my support teddy. This is my puppy from when I was like, I've had puppy all my life. Like, he's been with me through everything. So I'm bringing him to the hospital with me as my little support companion because I'll be staying overnight by myself, so I need someone to hug. And then I've got some hospital paperwork. I've got my Kindle with heaps of books on it, so that will keep me entertained. I got a sleeping eye mask because I know that the hospitals are never completely pitch black and I can only sleep when it's completely dark. So that will help me get some sleep hopefully tomorrow night. I've got all my medication sorted out. I went through it all before and it's all organized, so for the next week I don't have to worry. I've got my mini portable fan. I'm sure I'll be cold most of the time, but my hot flushes and my temperature regulation has been so bad with my POTS the last 2 weeks, so just in case I have a hot flush, I've got my fan, some deodorant, and then my wallet with all like my ID and special information in it, and then some hand cream. This one smells amazing, and some lip balm. And that's everything I'm taking to the hospital, plus my water bottle and my own pillow. I find a pillow really helps when you're coming back from surgery and you can just put it on your stomach. And yeah, I think for like 3 weeks after surgery last time, I just had a pillow on my stomach the whole time. Just it felt like a protection thing because it was very sensitive. I'm just gonna rest for the rest of today, and then Will's coming over and he's staying tonight and coming to hospital with me, so that will be a lovely support. And then yeah, I just gotta not think about the whole process of surgery too much and just try and get through it. Yeah, it might be a different experience for me this time, so fingers crossed.
I'm hushing the dog on the tank. I'm running up stones on the edge of the bank. Rally the troops for another refrain. I sing this softly to myself. I sing this softly to myself.
Last time. I'm so late. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think my pulse is flaring up and I'm not able to sit up. But my endo pain isn't too bad. I'm on lots of drugs and lots of heat packs. And yeah.
I'm buried beneath the sand. There's no way to speak or reach out my hand. Watching the paper slowly unfold. Bracing for news that I can't bear to hold. While I'm singing this song to myself, I sing this softly to myself.
Hello. Today is Friday, the 28th of February, 2 days after surgery. And I'm in quite a bit of pain, but I'm home and in bed and I'm reading on my Kindle. I'm reading Gender Theory by Madeline Doherty, a book about endometriosis. And I'm feeling pretty wrecked, but I'll give you all a proper update in a few days when I'm feeling a bit better. But I'm doing alright. Better than last surgery.
Today is Wednesday, and it has been exactly a week since my surgery. I haven't really been able to properly update you guys after the surgery and how the recovery's been going and what happened because I have been recovering and just dealing with that day by day. But I have to say that my recovery from my second endo surgery compared to my first is insanely better. Like, I am already bouncing back after a week. Everything went so smoothly compared to the first time. I felt so much more prepared and understanding what was going on with my body. So I'll touch more on that soon, but I just wanted to first of all talk about the results of my second endometriosis surgery and also how the surgery went. So I got to the hospital last Wednesday at around 7 o'clock. I was the first patient for the day being operated on. I was very grateful to have been first in the line, just get it over and done with in the day. So I went into surgery at about 8 o'clock and I got out at about 10:30, I believe. I think the actual surgery went for about an hour or an hour and a half. I woke up so stressed out. It's something about waking up from a surgery and the anesthetic. It just makes you very emotional and overwhelmed. I was very scared to be put under again and have surgery. It's a very terrifying thing for me and many people, obviously. So waking up and just having it done was such a relief to me, and I just started crying my eyes out. And the first thing I remember the lady saying to me, she was so lovely. She said to me, "They found endo. Don't worry, you're safe." Yeah, they found endo, and I started crying my eyes out because it was just such a relief to hear. It was such a relief to hear that all my suspicions about it growing back were right. I didn't really know much about where the endo was found or how much of it until the next day because I wasn't able to speak to my doctor. I'm sorry, my brain's really muddled today and I'm just like really fatigued still from surgery. So if anything I'm saying is not making sense, I really apologize. Anyway, I went back to my like little room that I was staying in at the hospital, and we had organized like months prior that I would be staying an overnight stay because last time I got really unwell with my endo surgery and there was a mix up and miscommunication with the hospital staff. And the hospital staff were amazing and lovely, but there was one particular nurse that really did not want me to stay overnight and she kept trying to push me out of the hospital. I was in a lot of pain after surgery, obviously, is a lot of overwhelming abdominal pelvic pain waking up from surgery. But I was on really strong painkillers this time, which I wasn't on last time. I was only on like normal Panadol and Nurofen, and they put me on stronger painkillers, which definitely helped this time. And I was definitely recovering better, like straight away. I felt better, but I did struggle a lot with my POTS was flaring every time I would sit up in bed. Um, I would like almost pass out, and my POTS would flare so much. But I just every hour I just tried my best to sit up and see how I would go, and each time it got a tiny bit better, and I actually ended up being all right to leave that night before staying overnight, so that was nice. I got to come back home and sleep in my own bed the night of my surgery, which is just such a difference compared to my first surgery. My first surgery, I stayed overnight, and then like the next week or two after, I couldn't even sleep in my own bed. I had to be on the couch. But I was straight back into my own bed, obviously in a lot of pain, very drugged up and very fatigued and exhausted. But I already felt like pretty positive about the like recovery process. And literally each day I just improved a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And I was really forcing myself to go on little walks. I was like shuffling really slow around the house and in a lot of pain, but it genuinely helped me so much. My shoulder tip pain went away in like 2 days from my movement, and I was sleeping a lot, but then I was also getting up and moving and just trying to really use my tummy muscles. And yeah, I just feel so grateful that this time I have pretty much made a full recovery in 1 week. I'm still obviously very, very fragile, very fatigued. My tummy's still very sore, and I am getting endo cramps just from everything, just readjusting and just from having surgery, basically. So, yeah, I'm still like recovering, but not in the level that I was last time. Last time I was still like stuck on the couch, very immobile, just like very defeated and just upset and just not coping. Anyway, the next day after surgery, I called my surgeon and I spoke to him very briefly about what was found, what happened with surgery, and everything, because my next time I'm going to see him is in like 6 weeks and I couldn't wait to find out what had happened. And he left me a little note, like thing, but I couldn't read any of it. So I wanted to just check with him what he found, what happened, and everything. So he told me that he found endo on the left and right side of my pelvis. He said that he found it in an area called the ovarian fossa, which is just below the ovaries. And that is pretty much the exact spot that I have been feeling stabbing pain for the past year or two. So I was completely right with exactly where I was feeling pain correlating to my endo. Um, and he was actually quite surprised that he did find endo because he was really worried that he was going to go in and find no endo and this not be the reason for all my other problems. So he's feeling very positive and excited to see if this actually does solve my immune system problems and other problems that I've been dealing with for the past 2 years. So he was very happy with how the surgery went. He was able to remove all the endo that he found, obviously way less than last time, but definitely an amount had grown back that was affecting me. And yeah, now I know personally, if in the next few months to a year I don't get sick and my immune system's doing better again, I now know that my weakened immune system directly correlates with endo growth in my body, and that is my way of dealing with endo. That is the biggest symptom for me, and that is how it affects me. And endo is so different for everyone. It just completely differentiates depending on where it grows in the body and who it affects. So I'm really excited and just interested to see how the next few months go with complete recovery and if this does solve all the issues that I have been struggling with. Obviously, it won't solve all of the issues. I still deal with fatigue, I still deal with ME, CFS, and POTS, but I'm really interested to see if the endo being removed does help in some aspects with these, and yeah, just in what level the endo itself was impacting my everyday life and my immune system. So, yeah, that is the update that we're at now. I have not been back to see either of my doctors yet, but I thought I'd end the vlog here because it's a bit of a long one and I just wanted to give you a whole overview of how surgery went and my results and how I'm feeling. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I just want to thank any of you who've watched this all the way to the end. Um, I see all of your lovely comments talking about chronic illness. A lot of people who watch my videos also have other chronic illnesses or endo or can just relate to this experience. And I just really appreciate every single one of you for all your support and love. And yeah, it's been a rough few months, but I definitely appreciate all the love that I have received through my messages and everything. So I'll chat to you guys more about all of this in another video and continuing on with my vlogs and stuff. But thank you so much for watching my endo surgery vlog, and I'll chat to you all later.